So Ron Paul came out today and said that Mitt Romney needs to release his tax records, that it can only help him because it's showing the people that he's transparent. And there is a growing majority of Americans who want him to release those tax records. Now, I don't agree with Ron Paul that it will help Mitt Romney, because Mitt Romney himself or his campaign team has said they don't want to release the records because they don't want to provide any assistance to the Obama team who would go through his records and find stuff to use against him in the campaign. Well, obviously, Mitt Romney knows there's some stuff in his tax records that's not going to go over well with his conservative base. Now, what could those things be? Maybe he has tax deductions for donations he made to Planned Parenthood over the years. And we know that the conservative base doesn't like Planned Parenthood. They are targeting, I've even seen some campaign ads here in North Carolina of some candidates talking about Planned Parenthood and how they want to defund Planned Parenthood. And so it's quite possible that Mitt Romney has made donations to Planned Parenthood. What else? He could have some investments in, like, let's say, the national oil company for Venezuela. We know he recently tried to change the conversation and make it about Hugo Chavez. Well, it's quite possible that he's invested in Citgo, which is the gas station operated in the United States that's operated by the Venezuelan National Energy Company. And so there are a lot of questions about Mitt Romney. What does he have to hide? Perhaps he has been using these accounts that he got overseas to invest in, let's say, Iranian oil companies in their development. Perhaps he has money invested in some of these companies that profited from the Iraqi war. Who knows? Just fill in the blank. Fill in the blank. We know that Bain Company, one of his companies that was operated by Bain, was engaged in the disposal of aborted fetuses. But yet, conservatives they really want to push that to the back burner. That's why he's saying he didn't have control of Bain for those 2 years or whatnot. But Romney is being very dishonest. He's taking the American people to be fools. And, if you don't have anything to hide, then, why won't you release those tax records? Your father did it. It has been the standard since your father for these candidates to release all their tax records. And people are speculating that John McCain, the reason he chose Sarah Palin over Mitt Romney is because of something in his tax records. Now, John McCain can play the good soldier and come out and say that, people are lying and they're just speculating and that there was nothing in the tax records that disqualified him and that Sarah Palin was just a better qualified candidate. Now, come on, John, we're not going to believe that. Sarah Palin, the knock against her was she didn't have any experience. She was a one-term governor, didn't even finish out her term, just like Romney. Romney finished his term, but he was only a one-term governor in Massachusetts. And then, with his business record, which is supposed to be a plus, what's Sarah Palin's business record? Okay, so other than once she was picked as John McCain's vice president, other than to make a bunch of propaganda movies and write some books and do some reality shows. I'm not buying that from John McCain. Obviously John McCain was a terrible candidate himself. But the point is that if I was a Democratic strategist, if I was working for the Obama administration, I would make some attack ads posing the question about Mitt Romney. What was he invested in? Did he donate any money to Planned Parenthood? How much money did he make from the disposal of aborted fetuses? What investments did he have overseas? Was he invested in the Iranian energy sector? Was he invested in Halliburton, which we know also was helping the Iranians? And not that I'm against the Iranians, not that I'm against Venezuela or any of those, but we know that the conservative base hates those people. So, fill in the blank. And Mitt Romney knows that if he released those tax records ahead of the GOP nominating convention, his campaign is all but done. He may not even get the nomination because, they call him the presumptive nominee for a reason. It's not guaranteed. And so I think Ron Paul actually wants Mitt Romney to release those records because it could be something in there that could topple him. And we'll see a big old mess at the RNC. And maybe, people will go with Ron Paul, who I actually do support. So there you go, Mitt Romney. As long as he tries to sit on these records and ride it out, the more and more the American people's opinion of him is going to go down in the polls. This is Scotty Reed, Black Talk Radio.